Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video. I know I'm pretty sure I say this every month, and I know every YouTuber that does wrap up says this every month, but how is it already June? Does not feel like we've been through 5 months of 2025 already. So much has happened, especially in the last month. It felt like the longest month ever for all the right reasons. So I'm very excited to report that this is my highest reading. Is it my highest reading month this year? It must be, surely. Let me see if I've got a little tracker to tell me. Okay, so it's tied with January for being my highest reading month of the year. I read 16 books this month, very exciting books, some anticipated new releases, some new authors that I've picked up. I had a few ARCs that I got because I signed up to NetGalley this month. So it's a very exciting month for me. Obviously it was my birthday month, so I did a lot of book shopping and a fair amount of book reading. I'm really impressed that I had time to read all of these, frankly. I did obviously boost it a little bit by doing a 24-hour readathon last week, which you will hopefully see in a video next week. That is filmed, edited and uploaded, ready to go on, I don't even know what day. Have I written down the day? Must be like the 14th, I reckon. Let me see, I've got my little journal next to me with all my plans. So that'll be going up on the 14th. So look out for that. I read 5 books, which is very impressive for me. I don't know if you count that as a spoiler. I like to know how many books people read in 24 hours. So there you go, 5 books. And I won't tell you which books they are, but obviously they will be included in this wrap up. So interesting. But let's just get into it. These books are in no particular order. They're just, I yanked them off my little, I have a little cube I put all my read books for the month in. So let's get into it. I will say the first book I read this month was Fearless, and I was late to the game on this because it came out in April. Can't remember what day in April. It came out in April and I'm really gutted I didn't finish it quickly, but it's because I was audiobooking it. So this is obviously book 3, the third and final in the Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts. This I can't tell you too much about because obviously it's spoiler territory that far into a series and as the final book, but I will say this book was phenomenal. I loved it so much. This was a 5-star for me. I'm not surprised because Powerless was a 5-star. Powerful I think was a 4.5, Reckless was a 4.25. They've all been extremely highly rated books for me, so I'm not surprised this was a 5-star. And I disagree with some of what was done in this book to round off the series and explain some character behaviour, but I still loved every second of it, and I will take this to the grave. This series is incredible. It's definitely, other than Harry Potter of course, my favourite fantasy series that I've read, so a 5-star to start the month. Then I've got Summer Romance by Annabel Monaghan. This is my first Annabel Monaghan book I've ever read and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave this a 4-star. I might even bump that up to a 4.25 because I really did enjoy this. So this follows, I'm really bad at remembering names of characters, sorry about that. This follows Ali, who is recently divorced. She's a mother of 2 and she's still going through like the legal part of the divorce, sorting out who gets what, how often the father of the kids can see the kids, you know. And she meets Ethan. I don't remember his name being Ethan, but she meets Ethan, who is just a cutie pie. He's so sweet and I love how he interacts with the kids. And I think, if I remember rightly, her dog pees on him and that's how they meet. It's her dog pisses on this man and then she's like, I'm so sorry. So it was just fun. Obviously it's quite short. I think it's like 300 and something pages. It was on Kindle Unlimited as well, which I very much appreciate. So there you go, 316 pages on Kindle Unlimited. If you haven't read it already, I highly recommend picking it up. Then I am so excited about these specifically because I read them and then the author happened to put on her Instagram that she had a few damaged copies that she was going to sign and put on Etsy for £5 each. So I got my copies of these for £5 each and they are signed. I read More Than Shipmates and More Than Clickbait by Philippa Young and I loved them. And I love them even more now that I have copies that are personally signed to me. So cool. And they came with like, I won't show them because it's very NSFW, but some spicy artwork and a bookmark of the characters and a sticker and it came with tea as well, but I think I've put that in my kitchen. But I'll talk about this one first. Obviously, More Than Shipmates is book 1. It's quite chunky and on Kindle Unlimited, so check it out if you've got Kindle. This follows Eliza, who basically didn't get into drama school, even though that's what she wanted to do. She has had some issues with relationships in the past, and so she wants to get away from all of it and ends up signing up to work on a 6-month cruise around the Caribbean. And my god, does this book portray cruise ship workers as a horny bunch of people. Wow. There's lots of like party games that are quite sexy that they play. It's quite fun. Like, it's very unserious and fun. That's my takeaway from this book. And it's a love triangle. There's some people I've spoken to already that were like, is this a why choose? I was like, no. Because I thought it was a why choose going in, but it's a love triangle, which I don't mind personally. Between Tom and Oscar. Lovely. They're both great characters. I love them. And obviously Eliza, our main girlie. And it's just fun. It's like a battle of the nationalities, because one of them's American and one of them's British. I just thought that was a really fun element to add in. But yes, this was very fun. I think I gave this, what did I give this? I gave this a 4-star, which I think is fair. In my head I view it quite highly, but that's because I have a signed copy and that just makes me excited. So I gave this a 4-star. I do think it's worth checking out if you do like love triangles, and obviously like a very summery read because it's set on a cruise ship. So this I loved. And then More Than Clickbait is shorter by quite some mile, which I did appreciate, because after reading that I was like, I want to continue, but I don't have the brain power to keep going. So this and this spoils it a little bit, because it's another, I won't mention which character it is that's on the front of this book, but this follows someone from the first book and someone else's sister from the first book, but I won't say who, because obviously it's spoiler territory if you haven't read the first one. But basically our main female character in this, Gemma, she went on a reality dating show and has been absolutely slandered and is it defamation of character, when they just completely like cut the footage, edit the footage to make it look like you're being a complete bitch when you're not. So basically that's happened, and that's why she's now working on this cruise ship, because she needs to get away from that and hopefully go somewhere where no one knows who she is. Because she's obviously being very much bullied by the public for what happened. We've got like secret identity, because she doesn't tell this guy who she is, like about the fame or just who she's related to on the boat. She just uses a fake name and gets on with it. It's just so fun. I really enjoyed this one as well. I gave it a 3.5. It is definitely lower than More Than Shipmates, but I did still really enjoy this, and I highly recommend both of them if you haven't read them yet, because they are both on Kindle. And they're just fun. They are just fun. And again, absolute slay to have a signed copy. And it's not even like, I can't see the damage on this one. I don't know if I'm being stupid, but I can't see the damage on this one. So to get it for £5 because it's damaged was incredible for me. What book should we talk about next? I'm going to just pull it straight off the top of the pile. But I read Passion Project by London Sperry. I don't know how we're saying it. This was really fun. So this followed Bennett, who is like completely miserable. She's got no direction, no energy. Her ex-boyfriend, or her boyfriend at the time, dies, and she thinks it's very much her fault, even though it's no one's fault when something like that happens. So she's fallen into like a really deep depression, and her friend signs her up for a dating app and sends her on a date, and she chickens out, doesn't do it. But then Henry, who is the guy she's meant to be on a date with, comes into her life naturally anyway, and creates the Passion Project to try and, is it reinvigorate? Is that the word I'm looking for? But basically like reignite her passion for living, like, and make her happy again. So it was really, really sweet. I did thoroughly enjoy this. This was another 4-star for me. So that is, I mean, I recommend it. I didn't like the first half of it, but I recommend it now. The next book we'll be talking about, I genuinely don't remember a single thing about this book, to be honest, but it is Body Check by Elle Kennedy. In my notes, I've given this a 3.5. I'm going to have to lower it to a 2.5 because I don't remember anything that happened in this book. I know it was third POV, which I didn't like, but Let's see what it says on the back. So Hayden is the daughter of a hockey coach, or I think he owns a club or something now. And she ends up hooking up like a one-night stand with Brody, who is one of the hockey players on her dad's team. That's the storyline. And there's like a big scandal that they're involved in and stuff. So, even, you know, the story was there. I just don't remember it. It doesn't stand out to me. I read a lot of hockey romance. Like the book I'm reading at the moment is Hat Trick. That's a hockey romance. It's fucking incredible so far. But I don't remember much about this, so I'm going to say it's a 2.5 because I don't remember it. But, you know, if you're an Elle Kennedy fan, this is one of her early works, so check it out. It was decent. It was something to do. And I think it was less than 300 pages, if I'm right. Yeah, less than 300 pages, so a quick read, definitely. I also read The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. Is that who that's by? Yeah. I loved this. This was really cute. This I gave a 5-star, I believe. Did I? Yeah, I gave it a 5 star. I had 3 5-stars this month. I'm very impressed with that. But this follows Delphi, who dies, and is given a second chance at life if she can find her soulmate. So this is basically just like a finding a soulmate thing. Also, I said this in the video I read this in, but I'm so happy I found this in a charity shop with the sprayed edges and bookmarked from the works. I'm so happy. But this was just so cute. She has 10 days to find this guy and make him fall in love with her. I think it's like he has to kiss her of his own accord. Like she can't force him to kiss her, basically. But it was so fun. Absolutely just so funny. It's a very British book. So if you're a Brit, this is for you, babe. But I love this. So this was a 5-star. I'm really bad at recounting what I said about books before as well. So obviously watch the videos I read them in if you want proper thoughts. But for now, that was 5-star and I loved it. I recommend it strongly. Right, the next few books I've got are such a random bunch, but we're going for it. I read A Game of Hearts and Heist by Ruby Rowe, which is a steamy lesbian fantasy romance, which it literally says that on the front cover, but I literally don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's pretty cut and dry. This is a lesbian fantasy romance with spice in it. They go on a heist. It's like an enemies to lovers as well, so I love that. But yeah, so it says enemies to lovers, a heist, found family, a secret royal baby, and only one bed. Say less. Truly say less. I really enjoyed this. It's the first in a trilogy and I do own the other 2 books, so I'm definitely continuing this. I found the first half, like the first 200 pages were quite slow for me because not a lot really happened. It was like recruiting the team. And then the last 100 pages, like everything was happening. It was chaos. But I gave this a 3.5 and I do intend to continue the series. Like it had a good setup for the rest of the series. So I do recommend this. Obviously it's Pride Month now, so good time to pick it up. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, so definitely going to continue this. It's got like actual like twin sisters in it, so there's Scarlett and I think her sister's called Sterling, and then Quinn. Obviously there's a fantasy element, so I think Scarlett is an assassin and Quinn is like, she does potions and stuff, like she does the medicines, but she's also a poisoner, so that's where the enemies come in, is they're like stealing each other's clients. So it's very like fun, like fairly quick to get through. But yeah, not a lot happens in this one specifically. I'm hoping more happens in the next 2 books because obviously they've got the team together now. Just get straight in the action. But 3.5 for this. I read a second Annabelle Monaghan book. I read Nora Goes Off Script. I really enjoyed this actually. Not as much as Summer Romance. What did I give this? I gave this a 4 stars, so similar to Summer Romance. This follows Nora, who again, her husband's walked out on her and left her with 2 kids. I'm sensing a theme with Annabelle Monaghan's books at this point. And she writes a script about this messy breakup that she's had with her husband and how by the end she didn't fight, she didn't care that he left. Like, she knew it was the thing to do. She had no fight left in her. And it is picked up to be a movie and it is being filmed at her house. So that is how she meets the love interest, which is Leo, who's an actor in the film. He plays the main, like, her ex-husband basically in the film, which is funny. But yeah, it was really sweet, really fun. Obviously the kids in this book, they aren't my favourite, but you know, they're alright. And the only reason that this got knocked down to a 4, because I did thoroughly enjoy this, and again, it's such a quick read, I love a quick read, is there was a 3rd act conflict that I thought was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever read, genuinely. The 3rd act conflict was ridiculous. Like, I get it, but it was dumb as fuck. So 4-star for this. I am definitely going to read the other two. I think it's only 2 more Annabelle Monaghan books that I haven't read, which is Same Time Next Summer, and then, is it called It's a Love Story? I've got it on my floor. It's in my TBR pile for my next video. It's on my floor. But yes, so I did enjoy this. I'm still going to keep reading Annabelle Monaghan, obviously. Like, the Third Act Conflict wasn't bad enough that I'm not going to read her again, but it was pretty silly. Like, pretty silly. But I did like this. Then, very randomly, I've read the first volume of Rent a Girlfriend. My boyfriend got me this for my birthday, and I just wanted, like, a quick, easy, no brain power at all read, because obviously it is a manga, so it's pretty much all pictures. I was gonna say I didn't like this. I'm very neutral on this. Like, it was okay. I don't have any intention of reading the rest of this. It's like 39 volumes. I'm not reading 39 volumes of this. I've got the second one, so I might pick that up, but I'm not going out of my way to get the rest of them. I think, what did I give this? I gave it a 3-star. Again, maybe I would lower that to a 2. Like, it was pretty silly, pretty wacky, goofy. But this follows, I'm going to butcher this because I'm obviously not Japanese and cannot speak Japanese, but this follows Kazuya Kinoshita, which is this guy on the back. He is a virgin, he's at college or uni or something, he's been dumped from a 1-month relationship and he's desperate, so he rents a girlfriend, which is this lovely lady on the front that I do not remember the name of. And like chaos ensues, to be honest. It was a pretty weird read, very horny read actually. But yeah, I'd say this is maybe a 2-star. Like, it was fine. If you like manga and you've seen the anime, maybe read it. But my boyfriend has, since he's given me this, he has since said that the anime is better. So maybe I'll watch that instead of reading the rest. Then the final book I've got physically was actually an ARC that I got the audiobook for, and I didn't realise that the physical book was already out, so I ordered myself a physical book because I fucking loved it. This is A Fated Vow by Amanda Agee. This is a fantasy book. It is book 1 of a series, so I hope I get the ARCs for the following books, because I'm thoroughly, like, I'm into this. I'm very invested in this book. So this follows, and I don't remember any of their names. I think her name's Valeria or something. Let me check. Let me see. Okay, Valeria. I was so close. Valeria is the only living child of an elf lord, and she basically ends up stranded in, is it Vandalith? No. Yes? No. Oh, I wish I knew the names. The back is not giving me anything. She basically ends up in a different kingdom where the elves are not really, like, friendly. They're not people that everyone gets along with and, like, wants around. They're pretty, like, enemy territory at that point. And she stays in this, what she thinks is an abandoned house, and it ends up to, what am I saying? It ends up not being abandoned, basically. Oh my god, where is this man's name? There it is. And she thinks there's an intruder, gets in a bit of a scrap with the owner of the house, which is Asmodeus, who is our main man. And I didn't realise this, but he's like, he can go beast mode. That's so cringe to say. But like, he's got like an, I think he's a demon or something, but he's got like a beast form he can get into. And I was like, that's not attractive. That's not. But as I was reading it, I was like, do you know what, actually I'm kind of into it. So it's really good. There's like an element of reincarnated lost love happening, if that makes sense. Hopefully that's a thing people understand. Yeah, there's lots of drama, lots of, yeah, politics, world building. I've posted a full review of this on my Goodreads, and I can't for the life of me remember what my Goodreads is actually called. My best guess is it's Amy's Always Reading with dots in between, because that's what my Instagram is. But I really, really liked this. The audiobook was amazing, so I recommend listening to it rather than reading it. It's possibly on Kindle Unlimited as well. I actually can't remember. I think it is though. But I really, really enjoyed this, and I do want to check out more of Amanda Agee's work, because this was incredible, and I gave it a, I've got the hiccups. I gave it a 5-star. So that was a very happy read for me. And then I believe there are a couple that I've either unhauled or were ARCs, so I don't have the physical copy. In fact, they might all be ARCs. I think they are. So, I read an ARC novella called Hold Me For Now, which I think is by someone called Lexi Blake. I don't remember the authors of these books, I'm very sorry. It was only 80 pages long. That one is like an experiment where people who cannot orgasm are basically like put in this room where someone's overlooking them trying to have sex and like pointing out what they're doing wrong and trying to get them to climax. It was a weird read, but it was okay. I gave that a 3-star. I also read an ARC called Caught Out. That one is by Anne Butler. I remember that. And I gave that a 4-star. That is like, I mean, I don't know if I would classify it as a romance. I think it's a character study kind of thing. Similar to Magnolia Parks, it's rich people drama, frankly. But we've got our main character, who I now don't remember the name of. I know her last name is Allen, but I don't remember her name now. But our main girlie is like the daughter of this media PR person, very famous woman. So obviously, by proxy, her daughter's famous as well. So the daughter is who we're following. And her mum basically blackmails this guy who wants to work with their PR firm into dating her daughter. She's like, I have a sixth sense about these things. I know you're going to work out. And obviously that causes a lot of drama when her daughter then finds out that he's actually being like forced to date her, but then he's catching real feelings. It's really cute, really cute. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I gave that a 4-star, and I do intend, the second I have money, because fucking tea, guys. I had my birthday party this weekend and I got given quite a bit of money in cards and stuff, and now can't find it. Don't know if it's like missing, been put in a bin, just misplaced around the house, or if someone's nicked it. So currently I'm very broke because that was all the money I had this month because I didn't get paid. So hopefully I find that money and I can buy this book, because I do want a physical copy of Caught Out. It was really good. I gave it 4-star. I can't remember if I said. I read a fantasy book called A Kingdom of Shadow and Ash. Not a clue who that's by, frankly. And I gave that a 4-star. That's an arranged marriage between kingdoms to bring them back together. You've got like a past storyline of how the kingdoms like fell apart, basically. But it's told through like little letters at the start of each chapter, so it's not too difficult to follow along with. There's multiple overlapping love, like romance plot lines. There's a big family dynamic, obviously lots of politics involved. It was really good. I highly recommend that, and that is on Kindle Unlimited as well. And then I think, oh no, there's 2 more that I read. So I read One Beach, Two Babes and the Squid, which is like a comedic mystery, which followed Freddie. I remember her name, don't remember his name. Tom, his name's Tom. I must seem so scatty in these videos because I like bits of information come at me at different times and I just say it as and when it gets to me. But this is basically like, Tom is a private investigator and he thinks that Freddie is a suspect in this big like mafia crime thing going on that he's investigating, and so he's like following her as a suspect, but then she's figured out that something dodgy's happening, so she's now investigating it of her own accord, which makes her look more dodgy because she's always at the scene of the whatever's going on. So it was really fun. I don't think it's on Kindle, so you'd have to buy a physical copy if that's your thing. It was pretty funny. The chapters were pretty short, like they very fast paced. It was about 300 pages, I think, and I gave it a 3-star just because it wasn't really my cup of tea, but it was funny and it was like well written and quite interesting. So if that's your thing, definitely check it out. And then finally, this is actually the second book in a series, which I didn't know when I applied for the ARC, but now I know, and I do intend to go back and read the first one. But I read A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons, which I'm pretty sure is written by someone called J. Cole. Or J. Penn. It's something like that, because I know I muddled it up with the author Penn Cole. So it's either J. Penn or J. Cole, I do not remember. But I loved this. It was a very cozy fantasy read. You've got like all the mystical creatures, like a Lennox and a wizard and a gargoyle and a dwarf. It's all the magical stuff, dwarf. I never know if I'm saying that word right. And there's a baby dragon, which is so cute. There's an added in element of our main character who is called Dolly. Her parents have come to visit, and there's like a strained family dynamic there, because she always feels like her parents don't think she's good enough and she's not responsible and she can't look after this baby dragon. And then her parents, like, at the end, like, you get that dynamic. It's great. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. I gave that a 4-star. I'd actually give it a 4.5. I really enjoyed it. And I do intend to buy the physical copy of that as well. That comes out, I think it came out either the 1st or the 3rd of June. So I am going to order that again if I get my money. That's being ordered quite swiftly. But, you know, fingers crossed I get the money. I was trying so hard not to mention that, but it's difficult not to, because I'm very upset about it and I have no idea what happened to it. I'm hoping I can find it. But yeah, so that's what's happened. If I seem a bit down, that's because I'm physically and mentally drained. My body hurts from partying and my brain hurts from losing money. But that is all for this video. Obviously, my main recommendations from this is, if you haven't read the Powerless trilogy, go read that. Incredible series. The Love of My Afterlife, 5-star, obviously read that. What else is there? A Fated Vow was really good for fantasy lovers, so read that. And it's not a 5-star, but it's close. A Fellowship of Librarians and Dragons was just absolutely so adorable, cozy. I'd say read it in autumn, that feels right, but I read it in May and it was great. So that's all the books I read this month. Let me know if you have read any of these. Let me know if there's any you'd like to see me read, because I'm always updating my TBR and like fitting it to match whatever videos I'm doing. So if I can fit it in a video, I definitely would. Check out any recommendations you guys have. But that is all for today. I will see you next week. Bye.